Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do a uranium update. We're going to look at the 1 month performance, and some of these have insane returns in 1 month. I don't expect that to necessarily continue, but we can look at which ones are the best performers, which ones are lagging. Are any of them being best performers going to worst performers? Are they crossing over their charts? That's what we're looking at. And just because one of these has a good 1 month performance doesn't mean that that performance is necessarily going to continue. Sometimes what I do is I buy the best performers. Sometimes I buy the worst performers. We'll call them, quote, the laggards. And sometimes these performances change over time. We're going to look at which ones are the best performers. Some of the ones that were stuck, they were kind of stuck down there in resistance. They really shot higher this past month. And now they're some of the best performers. So it's sometimes it's difficult to tell. Sometimes you want to look at price performance and match that with the charts. Ones that are kind of stuck in some areas. I know Fission was stuck, Laramide was stuck, Goviax was stuck, Deep Yellow was stuck, and they've done pretty well over the past month. So we'll see. And again, guys, this is just my financial opinion. We'll take a look at the performance and go from there. So here we go. I'm going to start with these top two, and I kind of grouped them. These are the Africa, most of the Africa companies. They are development companies. Most of these are development companies. These are the American companies. And I put some arrows next to some really big performers that have done quite well. Bannerman has done exceptionally well. Deep Yellow, and Goviax. When I was buying these, I overweighted Bannerman, Deep Yellow, Goviax, and far back some years ago, I overweighted, it's a little over a year, Global Atomic, and then Forces came a little bit later. Looking at these guys over here, I don't really own too many of these. I own Encore Energy. That is one of my largest holdings. I've held it for a long time. And I started to buy Uranium Royalty Corp probably a little bit over a month ago. Those are the ones that I really like. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with these other ones as well, but they just haven't performed as well. And I think looking at these, you kind of have to guess what the internet thinks. Bannerman's been a very big promoter, Brandon Monroe on YouTube, the CEO, and I think a lot of people like him. So this one might do very well just from a promoting aspect. I also think Uranium Royalty Corp had done a pretty good job of promoting on YouTube. I know John Borshoff, the CEO of Deep Yellow, has been on YouTube. And Goviax, the CEO of Goviax, has been on some stuff as well. Same with Global Atomic. So those done well, and Forces is kind of under the radar. Looking at some of the ones under here, these are more of the Canadian. This is the Canadian Explorers. This is the Canadian, we'll call it developers on this side. Looking at this, Fission Uranium's done very well. This was one that I kind of thought was going to do well once it got through its sticky area. The Explorers have popped quite well. Sky Harbor, ISO Energy, Fission 3.0, they've done very well. I'm looking at these. Let me come back up here. I'll look at the charts up here and see if these guys are crossing. It looks like whatever's done well on the upside also hasn't done too poorly on the downside. They've all kind of pulled back. The ones that went up less pulled back less, and the ones that went up more pulled back more. And that's basically saying that you've got a little more bounce. Same with this one on this side. Uranium Royalty Corporation came up and then pulled back more than the other ones. And it's the same here. Fission had a monster move all the way up to 120%, and it's pulled on back. But most of these lines, for the most part, aren't crossing too much. We're not seeing a favorite and then it just get completely sold off. So they all look pretty good. They look like they're all intact. Looking at these guys down here, Blue Sky Uranium's done very well, 70% up. This was kind of one that has got some resistance as well. I was pulling back. Laramide's done pretty well. And then, let me see, what's that purple one? Why do I have a purple one in here, but no purple one down here? That's weird. It must have got cut off. I was probably Paladin Energy, I think. Yep, it was Paladin Energy's the purple one. So that's done very well as well. No, Paladin's here. Man, I don't know which one that one is. Over here, we've had Boss Energy and Paladin. They've both done exceptionally well. And they also look pretty good. So, of all of these, Paladin's done well, Sky Harbor's done well, Boss Energy. Oh, Pen MF is this purple one. Pen MF has done very well. Fission Uranium, Uranium Royalty Corporation, Bannerman, Deep Yellow, and Goviax. So those are the ones that have done well on at least a 1 month. Do I think that this continued outperformance will happen versus the other ones? I kind of do think that. The ones with the arrows, I kind of think they're going to continue to outperform during this stage of the bull market. Have we bottomed, and are we going to go higher? I got to see evidence of a turn. It could turn at any second. These things are ultra volatile. Money flows are flowing all over the place. So it's very difficult to try to time this stuff. I'll be honest here. And what I try to do is I get in and I hold on and I cost average in, I sprinkle out. Sprinkle meaning that I'm cost averaging into companies with little amounts of money and I continually to buy it when these things are down and looking like they're going to turn back up. I try not to time it to the T. You try to time it as best you can. That's all you can do. And sometimes it doesn't work. Other times it works very well. But in uranium and the volatility here, I've bought in my positions for the most part. I'll sprinkle a little bit more in. If I were to pick a couple of companies out of here, I think Goviax has got some room to run because it just broke out of its, basically its all-time high. It broke out and it kind of coming back and back testing. I think that could run quite a bit. Think of it as a later stage, but I'll call it, it's happening later, but it's an early global atomic almost, kind of. Just based off of where it's at in the resistance levels and how global atomic didn't have this huge area before it in terms of, this is just charting, guys, just charting. You break those resistance levels and it has room to run. So I think Goviax will do well. I think a Deep Yellow could do well, and Bannerman, we're breaking out of these areas. Forces Metals is another one that needs to break. It's still stuck. Uranium Royalty Corp, yeah. I think UEX is trying to break. There's a couple of these that are trying to break. Denison Mines is trying to break out. Fission kind of went through its resistance level and it's moving. So if I were to pick like 3 or 4, I think Goviax is one. That's one I bought before this move. I bought Fission, but that one's moved quite a bit. And I bought Uranium Royalty Corp before the move. And I would buy Forces Metals, probably. Because that one seems to be kind of under the radar. But those are the ones that I like. That's what I would buy. Oh, and I bought Laramide too. That's one I added into. Laramide, and I had some Blue Sky purchases. So that's my opinion, guys. Again, it's just financial opinion. Make sure it works for your strategy and your portfolio. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.